for 24 hours. So it won't be today. Don't think I forgot you. It will be tomorrow around this time that you'll get a copy of the recording and today's slides. Now, I will turn it off for Q&A. I will not do recording during Q&A. That's really to preserve your privacy. Plus, it's the benefit. And the only benefit, the big benefit of people being here live is that you get to have your questions answered and you're able to apply your knowledge right away when you get out of here instead of having to wait 24 hours, right? Plus, I'll also send some other things to you because you were actually here and stayed here till the very end. So I always like to reward that, but welcome and thank you for being here. The only people who will get this though are those who commented in the question box. So you don't have to put your email address. It's all good. It picks up whatever you registered with, but that's what we're gonna do. And let me see, I do see Santana is here as well in Durant, Oklahoma. Paula is here too. All right, we're going to be talking today about get your local business on Google Search and Maps. And if you do need those closed captions, this is the link, but this URL underneath there is where you can find all things small business within Google. Now, if you're tweeting or posting, if you'll use the hashtag Grow with Google, it lets all your connections know that you're leveling up your skills, but it also lets the Google team know that this matters to you. And I love that because I love for them to create more. There's a lot here that we have in Google that's free that you have through your personal Gmail account or a free Google account. And you don't have to worry about paying for the paid services, but so many people don't know about these. And we're going to really cover that today on how you can get found on Google. And then of course, if you want to connect with me on socials, you're welcome to. This is me on Twitter right here, that first handle. And this is my Instagram handbook. The Instagram handle right here after that. Well, you're welcome to connect there, and I'm happy to retweet or repost anything that you put out there, especially if you tag me, okay? All right, everybody, let's go ahead in. And did I need to enter anything? Nope. Nope, you don't need to enter anything to get a recording. Just know that you do need to just comment there in the question box, and it's picking up the email address that you register with, all right? All right, so when we talk about getting our local business found on Google Search and Maps, we're going to be talking about your Google Business Profile. That was formerly known as Google My Business or GMB or misnamed Google Listing. It's never been a Google listing. It's always been either Get Your Business Online, or then that was before Google My Business, then it became GMB, and now it is Google Business Profile. That happened in January 2022. So let me know by the show of ones in the question box if you have a Google Business Profile. I'd love to hear. You finally found it, Mary. I'm so glad you found it. Love it. My old stomping grounds. I'm a TTU graduate, so I know Lubbock very well. All right, some people do have a Google Business Profile. All right, not sure. Sure, I understand that. We'll walk through to make sure that you know whether or not you have one and how to start one and how to be verified with one as well, or to claim one if one already exists for you, because it could be a customer that checked in or left a review, or even an employee or team member or a competitor who's put you on Search and Maps. So it's important that you control your online reputation. We'll talk about how you can create a business profile. So for those of you who have already created a business profile, how many days ago was the last time you posted to your profile? I'd love to know. Just put the number of days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or longer, 30, 60, 90. Go ahead and put that in the question box. And by shows of the number 2, let me know if you're using the free website that you have available through your Google Business Profile. Even if you have a website, if you're using it, because you know it's filled with SEO juice and works like a great landing page. All right. So I see a lot of nevers. Waiting for verification, got it. 2, okay, some people are using their free website. Perfect, perfect, good to hear that. We'll talk about some best practices on optimizing that so the search engine can see you as well as people looking for your product, service, or solution. And then we'll talk about how you can manage your business info. And of course, I end everything with free resources. Do know that everything that I'm talking about today is 100% free. I'm not selling anything, so why does Google do this? That's always a question that I get. Google does this because we're the #1 search engine in the world. The way we stay #1 is by making sure that the information is correct to people when they are ready to know, go, do, or buy. How do we stay correct? Is by going to you, the small business owner, and asking you to please put your information here so we know that it's correct. Your updated hours of operation, your products and services that you have, and your latest reviews. We are looking for that because that's what keeps Google #1. So it's a win-win, right? Let's go ahead and dive in. Now that video that I kept warning you about that I'm going to jump to, so you may lose audio. Remember the little screenshot of the phone numbers. Just keep that in mind in case you need that, because I can't control if your browser updated and there may be a conflict and you won't hear audio, but we'll do this real quick and then I'll come right back, okay? So let's meet Vince, and I love Vince because he actually has a family-owned business, which is what I did. When I started my business, actually over 20 years ago, it was a family-owned business, and I'm so proud that my 3 adult sons actually run the business now. So let's look at Vince because I love his story too. All right, let me bring that up here. There we go.
My name is Vince. This is my shop. I opened Village Tailor and Cleaners in 1977. I arrived in New York 4 years earlier from Italy. It was me, my brother, my mom, and my dad. My mother taught me how to sew. When I opened the shop, the first person I hired was my mother. This is Bruno, the store mascot. My little advertisement. As a business owner, you're always thinking, how can you do better? I noticed that customers come in with the clothes in one hand and the phone on the other, always looking up information. So I said to myself, we have to put this store online. Google lets me decide how the shop shows up. I pick photos, I can post special hours, anything. I made this website in 10 minutes using the website builder. And I'm not kidding. Now people walk in and I'm always asking, how did you find us? They used to say, I saw Bruno, so I came in. Now they say, Google. Believe it or not, we're up 30% this year. We're doing enough business, I had to hire more tailors and get some new machines. I've got 3 shops going, and my son Vincent Jr. is running one of them. The Village Cobbler next door. I'm in an old-fashioned profession. I work with my hands. I hadn't thought much about putting the business online. Now, I couldn't be happier. Village Tailor, 40 years and going strong.
Oh, I just love Vince's story. Always, and it always speaks to my heart as a small business owner and somebody who is very passionate about making sure small businesses have all the tools and resources they need to get ahead, because I do understand when you put that shingle out how you're inundated with so many ways that you can spend, but how many ways can you truly apply what's available to you to be able to be visible, credible, and profitable? And that's what I do focus on. So let's talk about what a Google business profile is. And I did see your question, Talani. I would encourage you. So Talani had a question, could not access a Google business profile account. You really do need to speak to a Google specialist, because I absolutely could not access that at all for you. That has to be somebody right there within Google headquarters that can assist you, and there's a lot of proof that has to happen at that end. Or get with the Google partner here. Remember that Google partner list I shared at the very beginning, because they actually have direct access to the Google specialist, the Google business profile specialist, and they can ask the question for you. Okay, can we customize business type as a none or entire remotely related? Chris, we'll talk about that in a little bit, because one of the things is they say that e-commerce businesses can't use Google business profile, but you'll find that I teach you some ways to optimize that and really work with that so you can use the power of Google business profile. So stay tuned, okay? All right, you're very welcome, Talani. Thank you for asking the questions there. That's what the question box is for, everybody. So what's a Google business profile? Since there are many people who do not have a profile, this is what it looks like when you're on mobile, because let's be open here and very focused at the fact that 74% of us go to a mobile device first when we want to know, go, do, or buy. I was talking to a web designer, in fact, right before I jumped onto this, and explained to them that if you have limited resources, you build for mobile first, desktop and laptop later. Second, because people are going to go through mobile first. That's not changing. So when you're looking at mobile, you see the photos and videos are up there giving you good, consistent branding, which that's important that people see and notice your color and your photos and your logos all the same and consistent across everywhere. Your Facebook business page, your TikTok profile, Instagram profile, LinkedIn company profile, your website, your blog, everything that you have there, they should be able to recognize that it's your brand. And that builds brand consistency, which builds trust. There's a reason we see when we're going down the road, the golden arches, we know exactly what those are. You also have the contact information here in the name, quick links like to your website, your location, your hours, and your phone number. So that's a Google business profile. And it's very important to have one because there's a lot of credibility. If people can't find you online, they don't think that you exist. They thought maybe you went out of business in 2020, or you're not an expert at what you do. And it doesn't matter whether we have a beer budget or champagne dreams, we all want to work with the expert. If they can't find you on the first page of Google search, then you're not considered a credible business. And it's not just search, it's maps. People look at both places, and it's important for us to control our information there. Because again, people only look at that first page of Google search. Now, every time that people do search, every page of Google comes up with 10 organic search results. That's important for you to know because there's ads there. You'll see shopping ads at the very top, which are actually photos that are there. So those are paid positions, and one text ad that is a paid position. Just gonna put my earbuds away here for a minute. And what you'll also see then are 10 organic search results. And it's important for us to show up there. There's a running joke within Google that the place you hide a dead body is on the second page of Google because nobody looks there. Unless they're hunting you down, you owe them money. They are not looking past the first page. So it's important for us to become experts on search and understand how we can show up on the first page of Google, 10 organic search results. All right, so we're going to talk about that today, because Google Business Profile is one way to do it. Its superpower is hyper local focus. So just keep that in mind. We don't want to dilute the power. There are many other tools that can help us reach worldwide, but let's focus on the superpower. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about why and how to optimize that. So even if you have a business profile, I'm going to teach you today how to optimize that so that the search engine can see you. Because if the search engine can't see you, if it doesn't see you in those first organic 10 search results to be able to give to somebody who is looking for what you have or has an issue or information that you can solve, then you're not visible and people can't do business with you if they don't know you exist. Okay, so this is how you claim it. If you have not claimed or verified that you're a Google Business Profile owner or you own the business, then you have that opportunity under the actual profile to go ahead and claim that this is your business, and you will prove and verify that. Now, how to create that for those of you who've not created one yet, and when you don't even know if one exists for you, what you'll do is you'll go to google.com/business. So notice the URL right there at the middle of the left column, google.com/business. If you have a Gmail, a free Gmail account or a free Google account, then once you do this and you click sign in, it will read your credentials, remember those, and bring you in immediately. If you don't, you will have to create a free Google account. It doesn't have to be Gmail. In fact, if you don't want that, you have your email address. It doesn't convert it to Gmail, but you'll create a free Google account and use your current email address and create a password. And just like any other password protected site online, you'll use that to access everything, okay? Now, that's what it's showing you here, and this is the URL if you need to sign up for a Google account. That's at the bottom left-hand corner. There is a blue URL there, and that is how you sign up for an account if you don't have one. But if you do have one, once you signed in and you use the google.com/business link, you will be right in there having access to all the free tools available to you. Now, when you go to google.com/business and you've already logged in there, you're going to be asked to type your business name if you do not have a business profile already set up. You'll type your name there. Look for the name that matches in your community. Understand Google Business Profile here, this search will bring up everybody across the country that has that name. So if you're not in Salem, Massachusetts, Don't claim that one. You may be the ABC company in Midland, Texas. So you're going to claim that one. If you're not there, that's when you'll start typing in the actual name and then put what your business category is. Now, there are 3,000 business categories. You're going to select the one that's closest to what you do. After you claim and verify, we can do custom things with the category. All right. But right now, at the get-go, at the beginning, you're just going to pick the business category that's closest. It's always updating. So look at the 3,000, choose that, and now you're going to click next. What you see here now is the question. That's the million-dollar question. Yes, do you want them to come to your location? Are you a storefront, a bar, a salon, a restaurant where you want that foot traffic? You want people to come in that door? That's when you click yes. But let's say, no, you're a home-based business and I don't want somebody showing up at my doorstep at some random time. Or no, I have, I'm a carpet installer and I have a warehouse that's not public facing where I might keep all my supplies, but I deliver my products and services to my customer. No, I have an e-commerce business, so even local people, sometimes I deliver to them when I'm at my kiddo's daycare or picking up from school, or maybe I'm at church, or maybe I'm at karate classes or taekwondo classes. Whatever it is that you do where you bring them product to their location, physically or in another format, you now checked no. Now do understand, if Google asks you, are you an e-commerce business? Then you will not have a Google business profile. But I always tell people, really think, as you start, do you ever bring your product or services to people locally? Do you have a local accountant, a friend, somebody that you work with, a coffee club? Think about it. There are opportunities where you do bring it locally. And if even there's just one opportunity, you can click no here and still utilize the Google business profile with all the superpower that it can use, okay? Because I have a lot of friends, especially who are with skincare consulting organizations, and they're the local representative. So even though everything can be ordered online, they will occasionally bring lotion, moisturizer, sunscreen to somebody, either at, we're about to go to a chamber meeting, or they'll see them at church and they'll bring that. You can do that as well. And that is considered that you are bringing the product or service to your customer's location. Does that make sense to everybody? Let me see. How do we get to the top of a paid position? Oh, that is talking specifically about Google Ads. Sabrina, get with a Google partner who invited you, because we have a complete Google Ads session that I can go through. I'm not going to go through that today because Google Ads is paid. And today I'm talking about everything free, okay? But great question. Can we customize business type? Oh, Chris, I hope that answers your question here. So you're going to look at the actual industry. What's your product, service, or solution, okay? So even if you said I'm home-based and you answered that question, let's go back a slide and said no, that you deliver goods and services to your customer's location, it asks you for an address. Crazy, right? But it's asking for that address because that's the only way that Google can verify that you're the owner. So even if you said no, it's not that we're going to publish your address because you said no here. You made that choice that you want your address not published. You want that suppressed. Now you have to put in an address to get the postcard verification. 99.8% of the time, that's the way you'll be verified. Very rarely will Google do a video call or a phone call that you initiate, by the way. Understand, Google never initiates a phone call. If you're getting people calling you saying that they're Google and you're going to use your listing, that's just a bunch of unscrupulous marketers trying to get your business and make you pay for something that's free. This is 100% free, but you do have to put your address in. So this is your actual physical address. No PO boxes at all. Those don't work. You're going to put an actual physical address. For example, I was working with a community theater, and that community theater had a PO box. Now they're a community theater, so they have an actual physical location, but they just did not receive mail there at all. Because, I mean, where are we going to see the plays? Where are you going to do your auditions? A real physical location. So what they did is the executive director used his home address as the actual address to receive the postcard. Suppress that. So he did choose at the very beginning here, no, we deliver products or service to our customer's location, so it would not publish. Then put in his home address. He got the postcard, verified he's the business owner, Once we know and confirm that you're the business owner, now you can start making changes to that. And he actually changed the actual address to a physical address and was able to put that on the map because it didn't need to receive mail there, but that's absolutely where somebody would be if they wanted to see a play. You can now also add a service area. Whether you put your address to be published or not, you can choose up to 20 different locations by city, zip code, or by county here that are your service locations. But let's think strategically. Remember what I said at the beginning. Your Google business profile is hyper local focused. That's its superpower. If you try to say, I serve from Seattle to Miami, you have diluted the power. And why in the world would you even spend any time here? Because it's not going to show up on the first page of Google search. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't show up there. It has to show up there. So in order to do that, we have to stay hyper local focused. Whenever I'm coaching and working with a business, I explain to them that local means within 100 miles. Now do understand, I live in rural West Texas. I go down the road 100 miles to San Angelo, 110 miles to have lunch or go to a chamber event, and I come back. Right? To me, that's down the road. So 100+ miles is nothing here, but understand to Google's business profile, it's not like hyper local focused enough. It needs to be 100 miles or smaller. In fact, I tell people if you really want this tool to really get you to the first page, stay within 35 miles. Doesn't mean that you can't serve outside of there. You'll use other tools to reach that, but make sure this tool is doing all the heavy lifting you expect it to do to get you on the first page of Google search. Make sense? So again, you can choose by zip code, county, or by city. Keep it hyper local focused. And I'm also a fan of this as you're building your business, because when you keep it hyper local focused, you can now start asking people for reviews and getting those 5 stars that you need. Because understand, if you want to compete on a nationwide basis, if you don't have at least 65 stars, you are not showing up at all. You don't even have a chance. You have to have 65 stars. And in order to get a 5-star that shows up, it has to have text behind it. It can't just be the stars. It has to have a text rating. So there has to be something written for it to count for you in search. And you need at least 60. So for small business owners, I explain to them, reach out to people. Who eats when you eat? Who are you the best customer for? Because I go to my dry cleaner, my business supply place, even some people, who help me with, actually putting graphics together. And I say, listen, would you give me a good review here? Because this will help me grow my business. When I succeed, you succeed, because I can do more business with you. I wasn't born in a bubble when my business started. I still had daycare, church, children's lessons, Boy Scouts, everywhere that I was. I still had connections with people that I could ask, and they were an arm's length because they're local. And you could do that too. This is the nail it before you scale it mentality. You've got to do that first, because for you to be able to compete on a worldwide stage, at minimum 60. If you're an e-commerce store, 120 5-star reviews, or you are nothing compared to what everybody else is doing. So we know what our agenda is on our to-do list to start applying what we learned, right? So now after you've done that, you'll enter your business contact information there, put your website URL if you've got the website URL, and now you're going to choose a way to verify. 99.8% of the time, it's that postcard by mail. Very rarely will they call. So you're going to put the contact info. This is really important, because when it comes in the mail, understand a lot of people think it's junk mail. It says it's a postcard, but it looks more like a W-2 with perforations at the end and the top. So people think it's an ad and they throw it away. You need to find that, put your contact name there, and it has a 5-digit code that you're going to need to put in and verify that you're the owner. Double check your work. This is really important. Look for typos, misspellings. If you said you wanted it published on Google Search and Maps, but really you don't, go look at all of your answers and double check that before you send that off, because this is another place where people also run into trouble, and they actually get into a lot of trouble with this, which takes tremendous time, energy, and money to come away from, and that is they want to change something. They made a mistake, they have a typo, or they wanted to add additional information, and they sent the postcard off, and now they want to make that change. Understand, that's the horrible verification loop, because you've sent off to verify that you're the business owner, but you've not verified you're the business owner yet, so you can't make any changes. So if you try to make a change, now you're in this horrible loop, and your business profile is not showing up anywhere, and you're not moving forward. So you have to start from square one all over again and build a new profile. Don't do it. Double check your work before you hit the send for the postcard, and wait. If you find out, oh my gosh, you checked it a million times and you see the typo, don't worry. Wait till you're verified and now make changes, okay? Don't fall to the temptation of trying to change and get in that verification loop. While you're waiting for that postcard, you can add services. What's nice is when you choose a category, it'll automatically come up with services that are usually associated with that category. So you can choose those services, but you can also add more. And right here, you look at that nice blue button down there with the plus sign. You can also click on that and add custom services. All right, I'm going to take a moment here because I've been talking quite a bit, and we'll look at business hours in just a moment, but let me see if there's any questions here. All right, I don't see any questions in the question box. We're all good to go. Feel free to ask questions there, but you do want to update your business hours. Understand that when people see that you're open on Google Search and Maps and they drive up and you are closed, they are not mad at Google, they're mad at you. And that's part of your first impression, and that's lasting. In fact, it takes 52 other contact times, not emails, not seconds, not minutes, but 52 other contact times to change a first impression. Who has that kind of time, energy, and money to be able to put obstacles in our way? We don't. Keep up with your business hours. You might have them updating and changing by day, or maybe with the weather. If you're in Florida right now, absolutely, you might be making some adjustments to those business hours. You also might want to activate messaging. I encourage you to do that because we are a text society, right? We text, we want immediate response, and you can add messaging, which is what's nice is they can text you. You can text them back. It looks like a text on your phone because it comes through Google Maps app, but they don't see your phone number. It's not disclosed to them. And now you can have that communication back with them. And if you're today, like here at the webinar learning, and you can't pay attention to those messages, not to worry, you can make sure other people have access and they respond right away. Sometimes it's the business that responds that gets the business. We know that too with real estate agents. Whenever I work with them, it's always the person who responds right away that earns the business. So next, you're going to put in a business description. You have 750 characters to do this. I say characters, that's letters, that's numbers, spaces, punctuation marks is each a character. That's all you have. You've got a running total that's here. Do use the words that people use to be able to find your business, not what you think, not industry speak. I was working with credit unions and they thought for sure that people were looking for loan originators. And I explained to them, unless you were looking for a job, people were looking for a job as a loan originator. They're not looking that way at all. If they're looking to start a loan, they're looking for what does my credit score need to be? Their search term might be, how long do I have to be on a job? Do I have to buy a car first before I can buy a home? There's going to be all those questions that they're either typing in or saying, hey, Google, hey, Alexa, and it's not going to be the word loan originator. So what words are they using? If you don't know, reach out to your best customers right now and ask them. It's okay to have a conversation with them when you're not signing them up for something or trying to resell them something. It's nice to be able to have that relationship, and they'll tell you. And if you don't have customers yet, reach out to friends and family who do business with competitors, find out from them. Even better, do a little bit of competitive research on your own and go read your competitors' reviews, because in their own words, they are telling you exactly what matters to them and why they did business with a competitor. You'll also see where the gaps are that might be your sweet spot to be able to provide them the answer to what they're missing from your competitors, okay? That's an expert marketer's tip. Also, now you'll add photos. Remember what I said about the consistency, and we're so visual. I mean, come on, TikTok is a thing, right? So we want to make sure we give a good visual of a good photo of how our business actually looks or what they can get, the benefit that we actually provide. Now you have the ability to connect Google Ads to your Google business profile. I'm not going to discuss that today, but I am going to have you think about the fact that when you connect Google tools, so part of Google SEO, search engine optimization, is that Google is the #1 search engine in the world. And make sure the information is correct by gathering it from you and then confirming it in more than one place. So while you may have put something in Google Business Profile, if you connect Google Ads, YouTube, Google Analytics, Google Search Console, Google Merchant Center, Google Sites, if you're connecting all these Google tools, pinging and confirming to the algorithm that you truly are a business, you're a credible business, and the information is correct and consistent across all these platforms, you actually show up higher. in search. That's another expert marketer tool. Now, remember, you're pending that verification. So here comes that postcard that doesn't look like a postcard. You're looking for the 5-digit code. You'll go into google.com/business when it comes in. You're going to be logged into the Google account that you created, your Google business profile, or that you claimed or you sent the claim or verification in with, and you're going to enter that verification code. Once you've done that, now we're going to manage the info. Covered a lot there. For those of you who already have a profile, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I know this, but maybe you have some tweaks to do. Sometimes it's just those few tweaks that'll get you above the goal and shooting and exactly getting to where you need to. But what other questions do you have before we go to the next section? Should I have separate email for my business instead of my personal email? You might want to do that, Bonnie. You might want to do that. You can manage up to 100 Google business profiles with one Google email or one Gmail account. So a Google account. So you may want to do that. It really is your personal preference. Just make note of it so you'll know exactly which one you set that up with, so you're not confused in case you ever forget your password or how to get in, okay? All right. Now, do know that when you set up your Google business profile, you can actually, and you're logged into the account that you created with, that's number one. But when you do that, you can now manage it on search. So you'll see it. If you search yourself, you'll see it come up on search. And you can see a lot of the management tools are right here at those 3 dots. So when you click on there, you can actually see those 3 dots, and you'll have a lot of things that you can control, like your business info, or even posts that you're doing, products or services that you're highlighting. So you can highlight those in Google too. Photos you're updating. So let's dive in deeper. Remember what I said about your business information and making sure you're matching the words people are using. This is so important. During the whole lockdown and pandemic, at the beginning of it, people were looking for tech support and web help, but they did not Google the term tech support at all. The number one search phrase that they were looking and finding for tech support and help was, I hate my computer. That's the words they were using. So you do understand that if a tech support company said, we provide you great tech support here, you have instant tech support, we come to your location, to your home, we service this area, there's no way they're showing up. They're not relevant. The number one part of Google's search algorithm, the number one pillar, is relevancy. How well do you match what somebody's searching for and what your words and your content says on all of your digital presence? So as you look at this, keep in mind that that's really important to match. And for this instance, for tech support, they had to say somewhere here. Have you woke up this morning with the mantra, I hate my computer? We can help you with that. That's the only way they're going to match, because that's the search phrase that people were using. That's why it's important for us to be experts on our customers. We need to understand their decision journey. We need to understand their pain points and their words expertly, so we can connect the dots between what we have and what they need. Okay. Let me see. I see a question here. I have a niche target demographic. They won't be on Google Maps to find me. Should I still list? Absolutely. Absolutely, because this is Google, Chris. This is Google. If you want to show up where 99.8% of people go when they want to know, go, do, or buy, you need to use every Google tool at your disposal to show up. Because if you don't show up in the first page, like I said earlier, you're not considered that you're even an expert in your business, and people even wonder if you're in business. You have to show up in the first page. If you can dominate the first page, that's even better. If the first page, somebody searches for your industry, your product, or your service, then all of a sudden they see right here your Google business profile, and they see now it's your website, it's a blog post that you did, it's your LinkedIn business profile, now it's your TikTok or Instagram profile, and maybe it's another post or a blog post that you did. If it's all about you, you have now lifted and positioned yourself as an expert in your industry, and we all want to do business with experts. I would much rather have 2 or more horses in the race for visibility than just requiring that I think one, and I need to do all the heavy lifting of one. I'm a big fan of fish where the fish are, and if somebody's on maps looking for something, whether you can serve them there or not, if they can find you and see that you are an option, yes, by all means, use that, okay? Bridget, I see, just to clarify, we should only manage information once we get verified. Yes. Do not try to change this. The first part you could do, like I said, add services, your description. You could put some of those basics in that they would let you do there. It's not published yet till you're actually verified, but you are able to make those updates there, and they go unpublished until you verify. So you can do that, but don't try to change things like, okay, I'm Vince's, let's say you're Vincent's ooh, I can't say that too quick. Vince's Village Cobbler. And now you want to add Ann Taylor behind it. Don't try to change that yet till it's verified. Does it make sense? Does your profile name have to match a corporate name? It does at first, Robin, when you're going through the verification process, because it might ask also for, hey, we want to see a utility bill or a bank statement with all the financial stuff redacted to showcase and confirm that you're the business owner. So you might want to do that, but once you're verified, you can turn it back into the name that everybody knows it by, that people would recognize it by. Okay, does that make sense? All right. You can also stand out with different attributes. So you have the ability to update your business information, because some people, you know, I'm an Air Force brat, so I put a lot of weight on veteran owned as well as the rest of my family, since we moved all over the world for all of our youth. So again, somebody might be looking for that. You can add those attributes. You can also go in and add products there. For those of you who have a business profile and have products, make sure you do this. This is another place that you can actually showcase what you have available. Different from photos, these are products actually showcasing on your Google business profile. It does depend on the category that you choose on whether you can add products and services, or one, maybe just services, maybe just products. But what is so cool about this is once you've verified, you can now have 9 other subcategories. And that is how you can customize the unique experience with you. So if you think of Vince, he has his Village Tailor, so he's a tailor shop, and alterations, that's his main category. But he also does dry cleaning, so he chose that category as a subcategory. And he does shoe repair, that's a subcategory. And he does leather cleaning, that's a subcategory. And he also does sewing, you know, some sewing repair. So he added all these other subcategories to really showcase the unique offerings that he has. So you can do that once you have verified that you're the owner and claimed your profile, okay? You can also create your own here. Done that for a lot of people, creating their own custom services here. You can also drop and drag photos. Remember what I said about that good visual and more that you can show of people's faces. We're all pretty numb to stock photos, so we want to see people's actual faces. And if you have services that you're selling, so you really don't have faces to put on there, think about the benefit that you provide. What does it look like? What does somebody look like when they receive the benefit of your product, service, or solution? And use those in your photos, okay? Some tips here on great photos, because you can use videos too. So yes, I absolutely, photos that I use on Instagram and my Instagram stories, and videos that I use. Now, Instagram just went to 60 seconds for their stories, but a lot of the 15-second videos I could fit right here, and it works in very nicely into your Google business profile. I'm a big fan of repurposing content, because I know not everybody's on socials, but 99.8% will go to Google search when they're looking for something. So I'm going to hit them one of the other places, or they'll get the confirmation to see it once here and see it over here, which sometimes we need to see something 7 to 9 times before it even registers that we saw anything, right? All right, I got a question here. I was asked to submit a video of the location. When I sent a postcard, as soon as I entered the code, it was denied. Is it possible to try again? Yes, you do need to try again, because it could be that the code has gotten old or expired, but absolutely try that again and do it, you know, look for that and do it pretty quickly so you can confirm that you are the actual owner of that, okay? Now, when you want to promote, actually, if you promote there, if you click that, you'll get a chance to see performance reports. This is really important, because I'm a big fan that if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that's not lifting the bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1 or 1 minute spent too much. So we need to see what's actually working, not just going from our gut feeling, know exactly what the data is showing us. We can also link together Google Ads here. We can look at shareable links to be able to get reviews, so that we can find that here and make it easy, put it at the bottom of our email address, bottom of an invoice, share it on social, put it in a profile link, or you know, a links.com. We could put all of that there to make it easy for somebody to leave a review for us. And we can also do posts and updates. Now, when I say about measuring your marketing, you can take a good look here to see who's coming to your profile. Are they going to your website, or are they calling you? I work with a lot of service-based businesses, and so they don't want people to go to the website, because heck, if your plumbing is clogged, nobody's just going to wait on a website and click here. They're going to want to talk to somebody and say, come right now, like yesterday. And so the phone calls, we look at the actual phone calls and see what they're doing and if they're getting them from the targeted area. You can also add updates here and posts. This is really important. While your posts are all visual on Google Search and Maps, You are in control of what Google sees. And the thing is that it gets the most Google juice, which is the search engine optimization. So it's most visible to Google in the first 5 days. So if you think of Googlebot as a person, you want Googlebot to see you active at least every 5 days. Minimum post time is what I tell people, is to go every 5 days to keep the visibility up there. It shows the activity of your Google business profile, and you don't have to create new posts. What are you posting on socials? Just repost it here. Reword it so it works for Google search. Remember, this isn't a social platform at all. So we don't say, do you like this or that? We say, 80% Harlingen love this, and we have this in stock. Okay, so we take that same post, repurpose it for this platform, and we share it here too, where other people can get and some visibility that they may never have been on TikTok or Instagram to see. So you can see those updates. They are really active and given good Google juice for the first 5 days. They're there all the time, but they get the most boost then, and there's no additional cost that you have to pay to boost that. Offers are visible until the offer is over. So let's say I've got a sale until September 30th. So it would have shown up or been a special discount sale until tomorrow, which is September 30th. Or maybe you have an event like today, the Weslaco Chamber of Commerce could have put this as an event. You have a webinar, which it would have been visible until the actual start of the webinar today. And you can use these to keep your Google business profile active. Keeping it active keeps it in front of Googlebot and make sure that it's actually showcasing you in search results. You can also respond to customers, to the reviews. You can look at your call history. You can even look at messages or answer questions, which I highly encourage you to do. That's an expert tip, and I can actually show you how to do that afterwards. So I'll finish the session, but at the end, when I turn off the recording, if you want me to show you how to optimize the Q&A or any of these areas, I'm happy to do that for you. Okay? All right. About managing reviews, let me tell you this. Reviews are gold. People take them as solid gold, like referrals and recommendations for friends and family members. Those third-party validation really mean a whole lot more than us beating our chests and saying we're the most amazing thing ever since sliced bread. They want to hear that from somebody else. So as you look at your reviews here, as you're getting reviews, of course, ask for them. Always ask for them. But then, and you can ask for them without being so pushy about it. Like I said, at the bottom of an invoice, in your email signature, you could put it in links in any of your social profiles. But when somebody does give you a review, there are some tips here to the left, but here's the thing I want you to be aware of. Is you're going to get a negative review. If you've been any time in business, it's going to happen. You're going to have trolls that you see that are just trolling. They're just trying to get somebody to respond to them. Don't pay any attention to trolls. Just like the saying goes, do not feed the trolls. So don't pay attention to them. But if you see something that's valid, like it's a customer, know that when they give you a good review, say thank you. 97% of businesses do not say thank you for a good review. So if you want to elevate yourself to the top 3%, head and shoulders above competitors with no cost involved, then say thank you to a good review. And then also, if you get a negative review, or maybe it's somebody who says they're a customer, but they're not really a customer, reply to that. Reply to the review. If it's negative, a lot of times a negative review is just a complaint or a request in another format. So for example, this is what I like to teach people to respond to a negative review with. That's not the experience that we want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Would you contact me here? Then you could put a link to text you, to your email address, to your WhatsApp, to your Messenger, however they need it, to your contact form, however they need to communicate with you, you can have that available right there in that response. But you're being very truthful. That's not the experience we want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. I have worked with hundreds of financial institutions, credit unions, and banks, where I have seen people give their account number, their routing number, and their PIN code in a review because they think when they're having that conversation and needing help that it's a private conversation. Reviews are public facing, everybody. They're public facing. So you are truly keeping the confidentiality of your customer. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Would you contact me here? What happens when you do that is 3 things. Number 1, they realize that it's a person reading the review. It's not a computer, it's not a bot. And understand that we can be downright nasty to electronics. but not to another person. So all of a sudden they just start to de-escalate. Number two, it gives you a chance to take it offline. We are all too busy to win any fight online. The more that somebody interacts with a negative review, the higher Google sees it as the algorithm ping that, oh, this is popular, let us show that up higher. We don't want that. Let's take it offline immediately. Third, you can find out that it might be something that needs to be fixed. Here in Midland, we had an actual restaurant owner who had somebody take a picture of a plate. He didn't like it. He put that negative review. The owner reached out and said, I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Would you contact me here? He left a text message number, his phone, so that he could text him to it. They got together, they saw and made some changes. He had him come in and try some of the changes he made to the plate, and then gave him 10 free coupons to give to his friends to also try that same plate. Don't you know that he was going around there, the guy who complained, saying, you know what? They listened to me and I helped make that plate. That was me. It was me. You can turn a potential enemy into an advocate just by listening sometimes. So this is your chance to do this in reviews, and they have so much weight in Google. I definitely want you to make sure you spend time with your reviews. All right. I saw a question pop up. Yes, right. It is shocking, Chris. It is a shocking statistic. We used to do everything under my business apps on Google, but since they're not available anymore. Oh, the Google app, the Google My Business app. So Google My Business went away in January, and the app is slowly going away. But all that same functionality can be found on search by using these 3 dots, Renee, or on Google Maps. The same thing. It looks exactly the same on Google Maps when you go there. So give it a go when you're logged into your account and go to Google Maps app, and you'll see what you were missing there. But you can also do it in search here by using the 3 dots, okay? You can also add managers. So never, ever, ever give away the keys to the kingdom, which is your Google password. Never, ever, ever. I see way too many businesses give it away to freelancers, to agencies who are helping support them by doing this. The problem is when you give away your password, then when you go to Google and you have any issues that you can't get into your account, maybe you no longer have a relationship with this person or this agency, or you've gone on to other things and now you're doing business with somebody else and you're trying to get access. If you are not the owner, if they have your password, then Google sees them as an owner of the business just like you, and they can shut you down and shut you out. So I never give the password away. What you can do is you can choose roles, right? So you can choose a role, then you can add managers. So you're always the primary owner. Somebody who has the same kind of ability to do what you can do in your account, except they cannot shut you down or shut you out, is known as an owner. So you're primary, so you can make them owner. And I see a lot of agencies, very, very credible, very good agencies that will be owners because they can't shut the primary owner out or down at all. Or a lot of times you want managers, which means if you have somebody as a role of a manager, they can access your account and do everything that you can do, but they cannot shut you down, they cannot shut you out, and they cannot add other people to your account without your permission. So you decide, do you want them to be owner or do you want them to be manager? But you, only you, are always primary owner, okay? So understand that sometimes you could have amazing reviews, but they can't be recovered if somebody else has your Google password. If you've done this, go immediately. Your first to-do list item is go immediately to go change your password and then designate people as owner or manager within your account and send that to them via email. You'll put their email address in there to ping them that they can now access the account that way. So give it a go, give it a try. This is the action that you need to do next here. Once you've taken that action, then start making it a habit to actually review and update your business information. I always like to say in the months of January, June, and July, I like to look at the online information to see if there's anything I need to update. You can also add info, put those photos and videos there, and then of course, always, always measure your marketing. It's very important so you can really take action on and make better business decisions by looking at those analytics. Once you have a Google business profile verified, then you can go here to the g.co/marketing kit, and it will already create posts for you if you need posters to be able to put table tents if you have a physical location, or if you're using this for social. It has a whole lot there. This is 100% free to you. You have that available to you. You can also go to YouTube, which you can go to youtube.com/growwithgoogle, and there should be the E up here. Sorry about that. I forgot to fix that before we went live. But go ahead, go there, because we always have new topics that we're launching there. plus reach out to the Google partner who invited you. There are also career certificates that you can look at here, and you can apply for a scholarship. Understand that any business with an EIN can apply for scholarships to up to 500 people at their location, going free to any of these. So that's kind of cool. You don't have to pay the $39 a month tuition for this. That is already comped. You just need to apply for the scholarship. So you can start that process here at that bottom left-hand corner URL. And then, of course, if you want any other learning at all, feel free to reach out to your Google partner. You can go to google.com/grow, the partner who invited you, and ask them, hey, you know, I want to go over this again. I want you to review this. I need your assistance, or I want Maria to talk about how you can look at analytics or design a website that really does work for us, okay? So all of that is available there, whether you're a small business or a developer, all right? Now, this is your Google partners. Remember what I said, if you've got any questions afterwards, they're right there and so vested in your success. They want you to be able to apply what you just learned today and take advantage of that to be more visible on search and maps. So this is who to reach out to. And I want to say thank you to them today. Of course, I've got a lot of other webinars coming up, and you can find out what they are here, but always reach out to your Google partner because they can bring me in specially just for you and your community. And I love when they do that. Of course, now we're down to Q&A, so I'm going to stop the recording so it can